God who was, who is, and is yet to be, fill our hearts with peace. Amen. Amen. Good morning. My name is Karl LaClair. I am a regular member of the Crossing, which is a congregation here at the cathedral. I'm also the Christian chaplain at Brandeis University. It's my pleasure to be with you this morning. I love this time of year. The Christmas feeling is all around us. As I walked in this morning, just looking at the lights on Macy's, all the trees, it fills my heart with so much excitement. And if you allow yourself a moment beneath all the hustle and the bustle, just to take in the colors, the sounds, the smells, it's easy to find that Christmas spirit. So much of my love for the Christmas season is rooted in the nostalgia of my childhood and the wonder and magic of this time of year. One of my favorite activities as a kid was to write a letter to Santa. Each year I would sit down with my brothers and we would work together to carefully craft the perfect list to send to the North Pole. My older brother was very helpful in helping us keep our expectations in check and to never ask for too much. I had a firm belief that Santa would indeed see my letter and bring what I had asked for. The anticipation I felt as Christmas Day came closer and closer was so exciting that I found myself lying up most of the night on Christmas Eve, just hoping to catch a glimpse of jolly old St. Nick. When we woke up on Christmas morning and hustled down the stairs into the living room to see all those presents laid out under the tree, the wonder that filled me was like nothing else I knew. That faith that there was someone keeping an eye on me, both my good and bad behavior, always filled me with a sense of joy. But that joy was rooted in knowing that there was someone looking out for me, someone who saw my goodness and acknowledged it. And yes, little Karl sure loved that acknowledgement came in the form of toys. There's something deeply comforting in knowing there's someone looking out for you. This desire to know someone is on your side is what was at the core of John the Baptist's message. Over the last few weeks, we have been invited into these stories about John's ministry on the banks of the Jordan River. We have heard how droves of people were going out to the desert to hear his words and receive the baptism he was offering. During the time of John the Baptist's ministry, the people of Israel felt abandoned by God. They believed that their collective sin had caused God to leave the temple and withdraw God's very presence from their midst. So when John shows up, offering a baptism for the forgiveness of sins, the people of Israel find tremendous comfort in that message. The people surely recognize the words of Isaiah from our first reading being made real in John's person. What they hear at the heart of John's message is a promise that their sins can and will be forgiven, which also means that God will return to live among their people. The readings we get throughout Advent are ones of hope. They speak about how God will break into human history and do something wonderful. There's an anticipation running throughout these readings, an anticipation that these things are about to get better, because God has taken notice of their longing and will indeed act. In today's gospel, we hear John being questioned by the religious authorities. They want to know who he really is and if his prophetic message is authentic. While much of the Gospel of John paints the religious authorities in a bit of a harsh light, I like to think of those who came to him in this morning's reading as ones carrying hopeful anticipation. They do not despise the words of the prophets, as our second reading states, but rather come out to see if the Spirit of the Lord is upon John. It's almost as if they're carrying their Christmas lists with them, and John is the mailbox with a direct line to the North Pole. Their questions are also ones of extreme relevance to that time and place. The people of Israel are waiting for a Messiah. They are waiting for a Messiah to come lift them out of the oppression that they find themselves living in. But John declares he is not the Messiah. So they ask him if he's Elijah. Fun little backstory in case you forgot who Elijah was. Elijah was a great prophet who was taken off into heaven in a golden chariot and was promised to return to announce the coming of the Messiah. But John tells us, I'm not Elijah either. Rather, John defines himself simply as the one who is pointing to the one who is coming. John is saying the best is yet to come. The language of being unworthy to untie the sandals of the one who is coming is meant to indicate that John is not the answer for the people's longing for deliverance. But someone even better is coming to offer that freedom. While I don't make a Christmas list anymore, I do regularly find my heart full of anticipation for God to show up in my story. Like the people flocking to hear John's message all those years ago, I too long to know and experience the love of God breaking into my world. Indeed, the people of Palestine and Israel today are surely longing for the peace of God in the midst of bloodshed and chaos. It's truly heartbreaking to see the continued violence in Gaza, in the very land that God placed their own feet in the person of Jesus, continually torn apart by terror and death. How can they not all be pleading for those garments of salvation? So as we begin to near the end of our Advent journey, we are invited to find the faith that believes God is still breaking into our story. That's why John's message is so powerful. It offers us a truth that the world needs to hear. John's entire ministry is saying that someone is out there for you, and they are coming soon. All that excited anticipation I felt as a child waiting for Santa's magic ride still finds its way into my heart during the Advent season. While it's not an anticipation for presents I might receive, it's a reminder of the longing within me that wants nothing more than to see God in my story. Each of us holds hope for the light to break through the darkness of the pain we've experienced in life. As the great prophet Bob Marley once said, love would never leave us alone, for in the darkness there must come out the light. Indeed, we are not alone. There is someone out there for and with us, and they are coming soon. So do not hesitate to lay down the prayers of your heart at this sacred table. Let those prayers be our Christmas lists and this sacred space, the North Pole, keeping our eyes fixed on the love that is surely longing to break forth into each of our stories. Amen.